In this video, I'm going to show how to add a language, or indeed a locale, to TWM, two-way match. The locale being a localized version of a language, like Swiss French, or Canadian French, or UK English versus US English. TWM takes the approach that machine-generated translations are never going to be adequate, but we start with them, and with the expectation that a native speaker will come along and do fine-tuning of this. Right, so here we have the login screen, the home screen actually, but either one works. And if I click on the flag icon here, we can see what language we're actually logged in the browser at the moment. Note the header login and register, home, about, contact. If I change the language, all of these change depending on whichever language. At the moment there's just the 5 languages loaded in, and as you can see they change each time I click on that. So let's go back to English. Alright, so let's log in English. Okay, so first we'll have a quick look at the administration. Now Fred and Wilma are the top administrators. They have all authorizations. So we'll just quickly go and have a look at the user administration for Fred, and as you can see he's got all the tick boxes, which means he's got all the available administration and translation authorizations. Also note there's German, English, Spanish, French, and simplified Chinese, and no Portuguese. Right, so now we'll go in, and under the administration banner you can go back to this page or go straight to wherever you want. This menu item and this button do the same thing, take you into the Administer Locales page, and note the 5 languages that are already installed. So if we could put Portuguese, Portugal, and Portuguese in Portuguese, hopefully the gender is correct on that, create locale, successfully created it, and go back, and now we have Portuguese, Portugal. Okay. Now the careful observer will notice that the browser locale is ENUS and the session locale is ENUS. So if we, now that we've added Portuguese, if we change to Portuguese and then go back to where we were, we don't have any, nothing's in Portuguese. The footers, none of this text is in Portuguese because we haven't had any translations. But before we can add translations, we have to grant the authorization to someone to administer Portuguese. And since it only just been created, nobody has that authorization. So let's go into administration and go into users. And you can see here for Portuguese, Portugal, none of these translation authorizations are granted. So we'll go in and translate, and it's remembered Fred from we were in here last time. We now have a new locale, Portuguese, Portugal, and no authorizations to translate any of that, so we'll grant Fred web page translations and save it. And let's go back and have a look at administration again, and as you see this one is now not grayed out anymore. So let's go in and translate Portuguese, Portugal. You say, ooh, that's horrible. Look at these highlighted red gears, means the translation is missing, and they're all missing. They're meant to be horrible on purpose so that you can see obviously when one is missing when nearly all of them are translated. So anyway, let's go in and look at the footer menu, and as you can see, we got our guys up here again. There are 4 translations, so we just grab them and then go into Google Translate or some other translator, and there they are. Grab them back, Control A, Control A, Control C, and translate, and it's showing us no, there were no old values, and there's the new values. Okay, now the red gears are gone, and they're gone again here. Now that would be quite tedious if we had to translate all of these, so what we do is we go down to the bottom, and it says there are 490 things to translate. So if we click in here, Control A, Control C. Unfortunately, Google has a 5,000 character limit, So we're not allowed to just paste this into Google. We have to save it to a text file and then translate that document. Right, but since I'm running a Linux desktop, I'm going to paste that into a file with a suitable name, and then this, now word count on this LENUS, there are 490. Alright, so let us then go back to Google Translate, and this time we're going to translate documents, and browse my computer, ENUS, and translate, and then Control A, Control C, back into here. But before I paste this in here, I just want to show you something to watch out for. If I just slowly scroll down here, you see we've got these 4 translations from before. In fact, we have all the translations from above that actually exist, and there happen to be 4. So if I were to paste the 490 new ones above or below or anywhere but on top of these, I will get what's followed. So let's scroll back to the top, and I'll just paste them up here, and then I say translate, and it says no, I'm not going to allow you to do that because you haven't got the right number. So somewhere there's a misalignment. So let's try that again. This time I'll select all, Control A, and then Control V. And I want to just do one other thing by way of example. If I look here, if you remember, these were the 4 original ones. So I'm going to just put on here, some 3s and E's and stuff, which I think probably don't really belong there. Okay, so we can see something in a moment. So let's translate these, and as you can see, now we have old value, new value. The other ones, all the new ones didn't have an old value, and if the old value and the new value are the same, it doesn't actually list it in this table because you haven't changed it. So but anyway, as you can see, if we go back, all those horrible gears are gone, and we have a translation, a Google generated translation for everything. Now I dare say this is probably in need of some improvement. So if I get rid of my 5 E's and this and this and this, then we see we've got more sensible values here. Go back, and there they all are. Now at this point we should note that even though we've added the translations in Portuguese, and we are our locale is Portuguese, or Portuguese Portugal, our translations are actually still in English, right? All English everywhere. So why is that? The reason is because the pages, with a few exceptions, well, a couple of exceptions, they only reload localized text when the locale is changed. So if we were to, for example, go up here and change our locale, and then go back to there, right? We won't see it until next time, right? Because we're in English and we're showing English, all right? So that's why. So we go back to Portuguese, and then go back again. Now all of a sudden we have Portuguese everywhere, yeah. Even there. There. So what we should probably then see, well, the safest thing, however, is if you don't want to worry about why is this page been translated, if you just log out and log in again, that way every page gets reloaded from scratch, and you'll be guaranteed to see all the translations that are available. So let's log out. And that throws us back to English, so we'll go to Portuguese and then log in, and you can see already we're seeing Portuguese everywhere. So we'll log in again as Fred, and everywhere we go is menus, they're all Portuguese, yeah. Everywhere we saw, all the translations we put in will be in, the translations are there now. So if we go back in administration and we look, remember, we've only just translated Webpages. We haven't translated any of the other 4. They're similar enough that, in fact, these 3 are pretty much identical. Units is a little bit different, but it should be fairly evident if you know how to use this one, that how to use any of the other 4. Thanks very much.